Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday webinar. My name is Andrew Mangeris, the Chief Product Officer here at Kyani, and I want to thank you for joining us on this Wednesday webinar. As you know, we have our Wednesday webinar every week at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And next week, we'll have Skylar Stephenson be on our call, our Vice President of Sales for North America, and we want to welcome you to, or invite you to join him next week on our Wednesday webinar. But first, hey, let's go through our disclaimers that we have for this week. Disclaimer, these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. And the clinical studies depicted in this presentation address the impact of specific ingredients generally, and not any Kyani product specifically. So with that, I want to introduce a special guest speaker that we have on today's call, and we have one of our very own Scientific Advisory Board members here at Kyani, and that's Dr. Claire Francomano. Dr. Francomano, are you there, and can you hear me?
I am here, Andrew. Very glad to be here. Thank you.
Great. Well, welcome. We appreciate you being on our Wednesday webinar. You've got a lot of background and understanding of collagen and some research. Tell us a little bit about your background and your experience in working and doing some research with collagen and how that's related over your career.
Well, I became a medical geneticist through my training with Dr. Victor McCusick at the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine many years ago. And Dr. Victor McCusick is considered by many to be the father of medical genetics. He was really a pioneer in this area. And one of his big areas of interest was a category of diseases he called the hereditary disorders of connective tissue. And the connective tissue is really that part of the body that holds us all together. You know, the tendons, the ligaments, what we call the integument underneath the skin. All of these connective tissues are composed of multiple different molecules, and collagen is a really, really important part of that composition. So I got interested in collagen because I was interested in these disorders that affect the connective tissue. And the genes that encode collagen are behind many of the genes, many of these disorders of connective tissue. Right now, we know that there are 28 different types of collagen in the body, and there are 42 different genes that encode those types of collagen. So it's a very complex area, and it's been a great privilege and pleasure, very, very interesting area of interest for me for, you know, my whole career, really.
That's great. I appreciate that. Now, you've got some slides here that you want to go through and talk a little bit and explain a little bit about what these are. I'll go to this first slide here that talks about some of the structure of collagen. If you can explain a little bit about what we're seeing here.
Absolutely. So one of the major types of collagen is called the fibrillar collagens. And those collagens are constructed of what we call a triple helix, because there are three basic chains that wrap up in a helical molecule to create the collagen molecule itself. So in the middle here, you have the schematic, that's B, with the strands, the green, red, and blue strands of collagen, the pro-collagen molecules, we call them. And they wrap up into creating this collagen molecule. And then the collagen molecules line up in this alternating pattern that you see under C to create what we call a fibril. So that they stack up to create a fibril, and that then creates the actual tissue of the connective tissues that we see. So the D, E, and F on this molecule, and I'm sorry, on these photographs, we just lost that, I'm sorry, illustrate the appearance of the molecules under the electron microscope. So, Andrew, are you still with me?
Yes, I am. Sorry there. I had my cursor moved off the screen right there and I couldn't pull in my hit my unmute button. I apologize for that. So yeah, that is fascinating. I love to see how that it actually ties in together and how it actually creates that tissue. It's fascinating to be able to see. Now, on this next slide here, tell us a little bit about how this connective tissue is used in different areas of the body.
So there are multiple different types of connective tissue, and the connective tissue that I deal with mostly in my patients with hereditary disorders of the connective tissue tends to be the fibrous connective tissue that it creates the tendons and the ligaments. But also, many of those disorders, the bone is affected and the cartilage is affected. And the extent to which these different tissues are affected by the genetic disorders that I study really has to do with the types of collagen that are expressed in each of those tissues. So for example, in the fibrous connective tissue, the tendons and the ligaments, and also in the skin, type 1 collagen, which is one of those fibrillar collagens, is the major component of those elements of the body. In the cartilage forming cells and the cartilage in the joints, type 2 collagen is the major collagen of the cartilage. So if a person has a mutation in one of the type 1 collagen genes, then it's more likely that the tendons, the ligaments, the skin, the bone will be affected, whereas if it's type 2 collagen, it's more likely to be a problem with the cartilage and with bone growth. So over the years, as people have identified the different genes that cause these many different types of collagen, we've been able to find hereditary disorders that correspond to problems with the expression or processing of these different types of collagen. And so now we have, in addition to, so we know, like, as I mentioned, 42 different genes encoding 28 different types of collagen, but there are literally hundreds of different diagnoses of different hereditary disorders that are caused by different types of mutations in these different genes.
Wow, thank you. That helps to explain a little bit better as far as what different types there are in different areas and different parts of the body. I appreciate that. At Kyani, we have two different products. We have a Fit 20 product and an HL5 product, both which contain hydrolyzed collagen protein. And of course, as we've talked about, hydrolyzed, which just means that it's breaking it down into smaller pieces so that our bodies can assimilate it better. And both of them contain hydrolyzed collagen protein from a grass-fed source, talking about the importance of purity and being a clean product. Both of these products, of course, are all natural, and what a benefit that is to be able to have a clean, pure product out there in the marketplace. Dr. Francomano, any comments or any things that you would like to mention about these two products that we've introduced recently?
Well, I just think it is an example of Kyani really leading the pack in the way the company is providing optimal products for optimal health. I mean, I have been so impressed by the peer-reviewed literature that's out there that supports the health benefits provided by every single one of our Kyani products. And these collagen hydrolysates are no exception. There is such really compelling scientific evidence that these products really can help people perform in every aspect of their lives. And I have a few articles to discuss with you that don't specifically use these two products because we haven't had them out long enough to do that kind of research yet, but looking at the health benefits of collagen supplementation.
Yeah, and right here, I'll just forward to the next slide here that talks a little bit about one of these studies. And you've done some research on some of these to pull out several different studies that talk about the benefits of collagen. Explain to us what this study is here.
So I was really impressed with this study because this is what we call a systematic review. It's not an individual paper, but a review of multiple papers that were published between 1994 and 2014, so over a 10-year period, looking at the studies on the action of collagen in bone and cartilaginous tissue and its therapeutic use in osteoporosis, which is low bone density, and osteoarthritis, which is the wear and tear type of arthritis. And so they took all of these studies and looked at what was the outcome. Like one study might have said that you got a benefit, and another study might have said you didn't get a benefit. And if you were just doing a meta-analysis of those two things, you would conclude, well, maybe there really wasn't a benefit, but that was not the case at all in this meta-analysis. So these scientists found that the use of hydrolyzed collagen had a positive therapeutic effect. In other words, it gave a benefit both in osteoporosis and in osteoarthritis. And there was an increase in bone mineral density and a protective effect on the cartilage, and particularly in the symptomatic relief of pain related to the osteoarthritis. So the composite analysis of all of these studies published over a 10-year period was very positive for the use of collagen supplementation.
The unique thing there is talking about a little bit of relief of pain. You know, we know that it gets into the bone, but we wouldn't, I guess I wouldn't have thought anyway, that, you know, you're going to get some benefit from pain management by helping with the osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, I guess, because maybe it's helping with the arthritis, obviously causes some pain, but that's an interesting conclusion.
Well, you know, I saw another article that I didn't include here, Andrew, but there is a suggestion that some collagen hydrolysates may inhibit the angiotensin converting enzyme. You know, we have the ACE inhibitors. And that article was talking about that particular benefit as modulating nitric oxide production.
Oh,
So
wow.
isn't that interesting? Because if that is the case, it comes back to our nitro FX and nitro extreme. We know that nitric oxide plays an important role in the relief of pain. So perhaps the collagen supplementation actually is symbiotic with that.
Very interesting. That's amazing to be able to see some of those connections. All right, tell us a little bit about this next one, this next study you pulled up.
So this one basically says this is a study in the laboratory looking at the laboratory animal. These are laboratory rats, and they're rats that were fed collagen hydrolysate. And what these researchers found was that by increasing the collagen hydrolysate intake, they were actually able to see that the collagen expression in the skin was increased. So it increased the collagen, the actual collagen production in the skin by ingesting collagen hydrolysate in these animals. And they looked at type 1 collagen and type 4 collagen. Type 1, as I mentioned, creates the tensile strength of the skin, and type 4 is that basement membrane collagen. And we know that when people do biopsies of skin with wrinkles, there is diminished type 4 collagen. So to optimize the wellness or the health of the skin, we want to have increased both type 1 and type 4, which is what was seen in this study. Significant increases in the amount of both type 1 and type 4 collagen. Now, not only that, we know that we produce collagen, but there are also enzymes in the body that break it down. And one of those enzymes that breaks down collagen is called matrix metalloproteinase 2. And it just is an enzyme that digests collagen and other connective tissue elements in the skin and elsewhere in the body. And we know that that connective tissue is important in every organ system. So to enhance the health of our collagen and our connective tissue, we want to minimize the degree to which it is degraded by these enzymes called the matrix metalloproteinases. And this study found that ingestion of the collagen hydrolysate actually suppresses the expression, the activity of this enzyme, which degrades the collagen. So two beneficial effects. It builds up the collagen and it inhibits the expression of the enzyme that breaks down the collagen.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Okay, now this one here, this next study, talk to us a little bit about this. It's talking about knee joint discomfort here and
so
using collagen.
This one looked at athletes who were experiencing pain. Pretty significant study, 139 different athletes who had knee pain with activity. And basically it says that the people who ingested hydrolysate of collagen experienced significantly less knee joint pain over time compared to those who ingested a placebo.
So a placebo study actually here talking about the knee pain, which is great for athletes. We obviously Fit 20 is very athletic focused product. And HL5, a lot of people like to take, that are heavy in workouts and that are very active lifestyles. So a lot of people are interested in knowing that athletes really need this. And I think it's one of the things that's been missing in the performance athletic world is people talk about proteins, just general proteins, and a lot of times whey protein or other sources, but they have not talked a lot about the need to have collagen in their diets as athletes or even the weekend warriors, right?
Right. Maybe even particularly, especially the weekend warriors. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so let's look at this next one here and tell us about this one.
So this is a letter to the editor, which actually is referencing another article, which I will send you the specific information about that primary article, because that's the one that people really should have their hands on. I realized that as I was reviewing these slides just before we started. But the primary article talks about effects on body composition in older men who have started to lose muscle mass. So that word sarcopenic means people who are losing muscle mass. And these investigators put these older men with loss of muscle mass on a collagen peptide supplementation and some resistance training. Not really tremendous resistance training. It was kind of a gentle resistance training program. And they showed really quite remarkable increase in muscle mass, fat-free mass over the 12 weeks, and loss of fat mass, which was substantially more significant than experienced by the men who experienced resistance training alone. So the collagen peptides enhanced the effect of resistance training in these older gentlemen who had already started to lose some muscle mass and resulted in significantly improved fat-free mass, which is the muscle mass, and loss of fat. And so I think this is really, really important, and obviously of great interest to our older population, people who have started to lose some muscle mass and are interested in trying to get back to being fit and maintaining their optimal health throughout their older years as they age.
And you bring up a great point. Sarcopenia is such a huge issue across the older generation, and it's becoming more prevalent and more common in occurring at younger ages because the population is not getting enough of collagen as well as proteins to help maintain that muscle mass in people. And so this is, I appreciate you bringing this.
And also, I think, it also emphasizes the importance of that healthy living and doing the exercise that we need. People just aren't moving as much as they used to anymore. We sit in front of our computers with our cell phones and we're not moving. So that healthy living movement that Dr. Andreas is promoting is so important, and the combination of moving and exercise and getting our movement in as well as supplementing with the collagen. I think this study really emphasizes that they can work together to optimize health.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Francomano, I sure appreciate you being on our webinar today and sharing with us a little bit about your background. We appreciate you being also on the Scientific Advisory Board and all that you do for Kyani and the Kyani community and our healthy living movement that we've got going on. We want to remind everybody that next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we will have another Wednesday webinar. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to you on the next Wednesday webinar. Have a great day.